a lot of ways I thought about this message. At the end of our time today, I'm going to have a little sermonette that deals with the issue of politics, if you will, in America. And it's an expression of what we're dealing with. I'm concerned about the Democratic Party's allegiance to an ungodly anti-marriage agenda. Some of what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to come and approach some of these wonderful politicians, and we're going to have to call them out by name.
The Internal Revenue Service has one simple rule: you can't endorse or oppose candidates for any public office. Beyond that, you can talk about politics from now until the cows come home.
To a group of people. It hinders us, and our greatest opportunity to speak is Sunday morning during the message time. And if the issue is significant enough, we ought to have the right to be able to speak out on those issues like marriage and life and family from the pulpit venue.
I mean, talk about what is right, what is morally right, what is morally wrong. I don't have any problem with that, and neither does the Internal Revenue Service. The only problem is when they go one step further and decide that they're going to try to figure out and tell you who to vote for. A tax exemption is an enormously valuable benefit. It's not some kind of right under the Constitution. It's a privilege guaranteed to those who choose to do it with these very modest restrictions. Don't make yourself a billionaire, and don't endorse candidates from the pulpit or anywhere else in your church.
In D.C., David Catania, and also Mayor Vincent Gray. In the curriculum of the school, they're recommending that the students experiment sexually. Oh yeah, I said it, and that's real. You can look it up. That's what he's recommending for your schools. And you want to vote for him again? DC people? Vote both of them out.
It's important, particularly for Christians, and we're tax-paying citizens of the nation, to be able to share what we believe about a particular candidate. And there's no question that we really are influencing people's thoughts. People come to church because they desire to be influenced.
One of the reasons I'm involved in this process is I believe we need to train our people to become urban missionaries. And what I mean by that is that they need to go into the Democratic Party, into the Republican Party, and they need to go in with an understanding of what a biblical worldview is. And then if I don't break that down and call names, etc., I think it still leaves it very, very vague. Years ago, I was asked to lead a movement where we would throw off the bonds and restraints that have been put upon the church in this generation by a law that was put together by President Lyndon Johnson right after the emergence of the Black Civil Rights Movement in the South. In my view, as an African American, I'm offended at the unconstitutional dimension of the law, and that it was put in place so that blacks specifically wouldn't speak out as they had been doing up till that point, using the church as a rallying point for the civil rights movement. Didn't keep us that silent.
Martin Luther King never once from the pulpit endorsed a candidate. He talked about social issues, social justice every day of his life, but he never endorsed a candidate. Now, why would that be? Because he did not think that the church was the appropriate place, even in the 1960s when the black church was the centerpiece of the African American community, didn't think it was the appropriate place to play hardball politics. He was right, and pastors would be good to look at his example to draw the line between prophetic witness on issues and pandering to politicians.
We're going to read out loud King James.
Many of the complaints we receive as an organization are from people sitting in the pews, and they don't like to think that they're going to church to be told who to vote for. You go to church for many reasons, to get all kinds of spiritual information and guidance, ethical considerations, of course, But you don't want to have your church turned into some hack political operation for some favored candidate of the pastor.
Well, I believe that our members do need our advice and direction. We're living in a generation now where we're going to be forced, I believe, because of the church's involvement, to make more substantive choices in those who represent us.